Hey guys, if you spend some time in Japan or if you spend some time with Japanese people, you are likely to hear some interesting words, and it's double words. So for example, it can be verbs, or it can be adjectives, or occasionally it can even be a noun. So some examples, the noun example first. So bubble wrap, some of you guys will recognize bubble wrap. It's the plastic wrap with the little balls of air that we use to wrap delicate things. Bubble wrap, some people call it, and Japanese people call it puchi puchi, because it's the sound that it makes when you pop it, right? Puchi puchi. So that's the noun example, and then there's lots of examples of verbs and adjectives. So one you'll hear all the time is when something rotates. Guru 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 guru, guru guru, guru guru, guru guru means rotate. So there's lots of them, and quite often there is actually a more correct, or not more correct, but a more sort of standard word, the word that you're more likely to find in the dictionary. They do exist, but these are the words that are used. It's because it sort of becomes an active word. It sort of becomes an active image. You know, guru guru, guru guru, guru guru. And particularly when you hear someone telling a story, like an animated story, you know, about something happening. You know, and then we went to this place and this happened, this guy fell over, and then this happened and that happened. And when they're doing it, you'll notice that the story is often full of these sounds. So they're words, but they're sounds, and they're made to sound like the action. So kachi kachi, kachi kachi, or gari gari. There's one. We've showed you lots of examples of gari gari, ice blocks. So they've actually got little crunchy balls of ice in them. So they're crunchy. When you crunch them, they're crunchy. So Japanese people call that crunchiness gari gari. It's very gari gari. So it's that crunchiness, gari gari, gari gari, gari gari, right? Gari gari. So there's endless examples, and you'll hear people telling stories, particularly on TV. If you watch Japanese television, you get these guys that are sort of popular for their genkiness, and they're really animated when they tell their story, you know, and often the stories will be full of these things, you know, kang kang, san kang, and butch butch, and a puff puff, and you know, all these different examples of it in the way they're speaking, because it's more to give an image. You know, if you can give an image of the sound, I'm trying to think of a couple more examples off the top of my head. We're about to hit you with a bunch of examples. What we did was we got a bunch of pictures together and showed them to some kids and asked them, what's this? What's going on here? And the first one we showed them was actually a puzzle. So lots of them, when they first saw it, said puzzle. And then we said, yeah, and what about the puzzle? And it's sort of like, it's spread around. So, bara bara, bara bara. So it means to be spread around. And then as soon as the kids caught on, that's what we were looking at. Off they all went, and pretty much all of them came up with pretty much the same sound words to describe what they're looking at. So it's a really interesting thing, and you'll sort of hear, I'm not very good at it, but if you listen to Japanese people talking, when they use them, they'll use them in a, you know, kang chang, chun ching, and a bung bung, and a bang bang, and the way they use it to actually make like sound effects to their story in a way. But in actual fact, they're words that everybody uses for that one particular verb or that one particular adjective. Another one, interesting one, is doki doki. Doki doki means nervous, and they say, oh, you know, doki doki, and it's because, of course, doki doki, that's the heart, isn't it? Dun 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 dun, doki 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 doki. I'm nervous, you know, and they'll use it. These things aren't used as sounds; they're used as words. So they'll put it in a normal sentence and say, "Oh, ima chotto doki doki desu ka?" You know, if you're about to do something, or they'll tell you, "Oh, ima chotto doki doki desu ne," and they'll tell you that they're feeling nervous. Ima chotto doki doki, ima chotto doki doki desu ne, doki doki. So it's funny, because once you start to notice them, those of you who are living in Japan will probably go crazy after this video, because once you start to really focus on them and really notice them, you really notice them, and they're everywhere, and they're really mainstream. So when you're talking with your friends, or you're listening to other Japanese people talking, or when you're watching Japanese TV, there's constant examples of this going on all the time. So as soon as I stop talking, I'm going to think of another dozen examples. So anyway, have a listen to these kids. We'll show these kids some pictures, and they'll tell you their word to describe the image. You'll see there's one, stuff that's spread around is butter, and then there's another one that's sticky, and there's another one that's shiny. So, and there's the round and round one. So anyway, have a look at this.
Bara bara. Bara bara.
Bara bara.
Bara bara.
Bara bara.
Bara bara. Ah, bara bara. Bara bara.
Beta beta. Beta beta.
Beta
Beta
beta.
beta.
Beta beta.
Beta beta.
Beta beta. Beta beta. Beta beta.
Pachi pachi.
Puchi puchi. Puchi puchi.
Puchi puchi.
Puchi puchi.
Puchi puchi.
Puchi puchi. Puchi puchi. Puchi puchi.
Kira kira.
Kira kira.
Kira kira.
Kira kira. Beta beta.
Beto beto. Beto betoじゃない。ベトベトだよ。
べちゃべちゃ。
べちゃべちゃ。
ビタビタ。
ビタビタ。くるくる。
Very good. Yay.
ぐるぐる。
Very good.
ぐるぐる。
ぐるぐる。
ぐる
くるくる。くるくる。
ぐるぐる。ぐるぐる。
So how was that? So those of you who do spend time with Japanese people or who do live in Japan probably have thought of a whole heap of examples of your own by now. So if you have thought of some that we haven't talked about already, and there's millions of them, so no doubt you would have thought of some already, just put them in the comment section of this video just to give the other people a bit of an idea of exactly how extensive this is, because it really is extensive, isn't it? It's just all the way through the Japanese language. So our description of it is wordy-wordy, because that just, to us, that just sort of sums it up, wordy-wordy, because it's, you know, two words put together to make a sound effect that's also a descriptive word in itself. So anyway, there it was, wordy-wordy in Japan. More videos coming soon.